Welcome back to another episode of Dad's Toy Garage, and today's project will be getting this rear valance back into something usable. I think I've had some time to look at it, and I think I can rebuild it. I brought home the stud gun from work, so we can use a slide hammer on parts where it's kind of hard to get to with the frame rail. I already patched a little bit of rust in there. Initially I was going to take some quarter panels, profiles, and reshape them, but when I looked at mine, it was kind of mangled underneath some body filler, so I'll show you that yet once we get into this video. So follow along and let's have some fun today. So here's my old quarter panel, and I was trying to recycle a bunch of it. I liked that it had a nice profile on there. This portion here would have been perfect to do one side of the rear valance. Thought, well, that's great. So I flipped it over. I was going to get into cutting it, and I got new problems to deal with. This whole thing is kind of ripply on the actual steel of it. You can see all these little dimples in here. That's where they've drilled through and used it to pull the quarter panel back, and then body filled over it. And even like the part I wanted to use here, if you get the light on it, you can see it's been picked out with the hammer. So this whole quarter panel, I want to say, it's probably been sideswiped, the one that came off of this car. So that option went out the window. I'm gonna have to toss the rest of that, which is fine. Then I had these fenders that I cut up, and I thought, well, that would work good for rear valance. I could use what's left of this, and so the metal's fairly straight. The next problem I have, I would be welding on rusty metal. I'll show you here. And I don't care to deal with the rusty metal. So it's quite crusty in there. It's just not worth my time. So these will be like, donate themselves to patches if I gotta patch up some fenders or need a wheel arch piece for front or back. They're quite similar. So let's get into what I want to tackle here. This is all done. It's not rear valance, it's quarter panel, but the valance is going to start here. This all had to be cut off because it was rusted anyways. Same thing on this side. You can still see a little bit of how it's rusted, a little bit up into here. I might pull the tow hook to smooth the body off. The rust is here. I think it's from stones kicking up from the rear tires, and here, and then I got a dent here I can't access with the hammer and dolly because there's a frame rail right there, but I've got a stud gun that we can put onto there. The rest of it's fairly straight actually. The thing that kind of gets me with this, if you look under here, it's just such a thin layer, the stones are gonna hit it, right? I know some other companies actually had a piece that was welded on this way. That would be nice for this, but I still think I'm gonna get dirt trapped in there, but you wouldn't get the stones, so we'll probably just put it back to OEM spec. And I think the first thing I'm gonna do is strip paint off so I can know exactly how much rust repair I gotta do. So I got my Contour SCT from Eastwood, and we're gonna use that to strip it down. So I got the right hand side of the rear valance cleaned off, and this appears to be the only spot I'll have to fix. It's kind of dead center here in terms of rust, and I gotta build this. What I think I'm gonna do is build this a little bit here first, then pull all the dents out, and then fix the rust spot after, so that I don't have any funny stretch metal that I'm having to deal with later. So that's what I'm gonna tackle now. Okay guys, I'm just working on template now to get this metal piece that we need. So I'm just working with the cardboard to get that right. So there's our cardboard piece. So I made a part using part of the old quarter panel that's gonna fit in this spot here. We're gonna butt weld it on both sides, and I think that'll be good enough for me. Put some weld through primer on the back side, and there we go. So that's the patch all in place. You probably saw me holding the light behind there, and that had to do with if I shine a light behind, I can see where the little pinholes are that I missed, and I can fill those in with the weld. Alright, time for stud gun. I just tack welded the next patch. We're looking at kind of like, that should give you an idea where it is. This one right there. And that's where the rust hole is. I'm going to tack it in, and then I'm going to cut it out with the cut-off disc on the edges, and that should get us the weld gap that we need. This side of the rear roll pan is done. We did a patch in here, patched it in here, and then I had to do the stud gun in here. So actually I did a little bit in here too. It'll be good enough because the bumper's behind there. So yeah, that's done. Now we're going to move on to the other side. Now I want to get this side stripped and paint. I want to kind of see what, I know I got to repair rust here, but I want to see some of these other areas, how they come out. See what we're left with after that, and I guess I'll also do some hammer and dolly here to get this straight. I removed the tow hook, and as I was removing it, one of the internal frame bolts snapped. I was planning on deleting it anyways. Come up with another system if I have to, but I want this clean here. I don't want a tow hook coming through my bumper. Right guys, I came up with a bit of a plan. I got this quarter panel profile again, and I'm thinking I'm going to kind of replace this whole section up to where it's spot welded on normally. Because it's a larger rust section and less chance of warping if I can weld it along the trunk seam. So we'll shape it a little bit and we'll get to fit on here, and that will be the goal for this side of the rear roll pan. There is the patch, I guess the other half of the valance on the driver's side, which in my car this is driver's side, and we'll zoom in on a little bit. I just wanted to show how even it is. Right along the bottom here, it looks wider because I gotta trim it. It's just is wider. It hangs a little lower, but that's just trimming. We'll get in nice and close now. So you can see that's the piece, and that was made from quarter panel top portion, which I think came off of the other side of the car. Kind of like, I think it was this portion here. Yeah, it would have been this portion here most likely, somewhere in that range. So you get this curve slightly reshaped and you get the rear valance. Pretty happy with that. New valance corner is welded on. Well, the rear valance is completed, and I'm very happy with that side. It was nice to be able to put a fresh piece in, and I guess if I think about it now, it would have been easiest to just do the same thing there, build a fresh piece, but it'll just need a little bit more body filler on that side because I had to use the stud gun to pull it out. So I'm very happy with this overall. And so let's just get a little bit of a perspective on it. Well guys, I had fun getting this roll pan together. I kind of wasn't looking forward to doing it, as I knew it was something in the background that always needed to be done. Kind of was there, and finally to the point where I could get it done. And I'm really happy that it is done now. So the next step is going to be getting some bumpers mounted up, or getting a bumper mounted up in the back here, and I'm probably going to have to build some bumper mounts to make the 73 bumper work, as my 72 is kind of mangled and doesn't just fit on nicely. And so join me next time on an episode of Dad's Toy Garage, where we're going to be probably fitting up some bumpers. So talk to you next time.